The sanctuary station orbited a dying star, its corridors filled with the displaced, the orphaned, and the forgotten. Among them were 73 cubs of the Valhari species children who had lost their parents to the war that ravaged the outer colonies. They huddled in dormitories designed for cargo, not childhood, their fur-covered faces pressed against viewports that showed nothing but the endless dark. Joran had been cleaning the station's lower decks for 3 years. He was the only human among a crew of 200 sentient species, most of whom barely noticed him. To them he was furniture that moved, a mop wielder, a trash collector, invisible in his gray jumpsuit. He preferred it that way. After what he'd seen during the colony wars, invisibility felt like mercy. But the Valhari cubs saw him. Kiko was the first. She was small even for her species, with silver-tipped fur and eyes too large for her face. She'd been watching Joran for weeks as he cleaned the recreation area where the cubs spent their afternoons. One evening, as he emptied waste receptacles, she approached with something clutched in her 6-fingered hands. "Human Joran," she said in halting galactic common. "Why do you work when the others sleep?" He paused, surprised she knew his name. "Someone has to keep things clean, little one. But you are always alone." Her ears drooped. "Like us." Joran's chest tightened. He'd learned 17 languages during his service, but none had prepared him for the weight of a child's loneliness spoken aloud. "What's that you're holding?" Kiko's ears perked slightly. She opened her hands to reveal a small, crumbling pastry, one of the ration bars the station provided, carefully shaped into something resembling a flower. "For you." "Because you make our space clean and nice." He accepted it with more ceremony than it deserved, and when he bit into the stale, compressed nutrients, he told her it was delicious. Her purr sound like wind through tall grass made something crack open inside him. After that, the cubs began leaving him things. Drawings made with smuggled styluses, stones arranged in patterns. Once, an entire plate of their dinner rations, organized by color. Joran kept every gift in his locker, a collection of kindness he didn't deserve but couldn't refuse. Then came the night he found the milk and cookies. The station didn't have milk, not the earth kind. What the cubs had left outside the dormitory door was a cup of reconstituted protein beverage and 3 Nutri-wafers arranged on a maintenance panel. Beside it, a note in Tico's careful script, for the night visitor. "Thank you for the kindness." Joran stood in the empty corridor, staring at the offering. Around him, the station hummed its mechanical lullaby. He picked up the cup and wafers, but he didn't eat them. Instead, he returned to his quarters and accessed the station's ancient datanet, searching for something he'd almost forgotten. Christmas, the old Earth tradition. Santa Claus, gift-giving, joy manufactured in the depths of winter darkness. The cubs had never heard of Christmas. How could they? But somehow, they'd created their own version, leaving offerings for a mysterious benefactor who existed only in their hope. They'd invented magic because they needed it, and Joran realized with sudden, terrible clarity that he could give them something more than clean floors. He could give them wonder. Over the next 3 weeks, Joran transformed. He bartered his meal credits for small items, actual sweets from the merchant deck, cheap toys from the commerce sector, bits of colored fabric. He learned the Valhari custom of gift-giving, how presentation mattered as much as the gift itself. He memorized 73 names, 73 preferences, 73 small dreams shared in whispers. The station's quartermaster, a 8-limbed Corvache named Theta, caught him smuggling a crate of surplus blankets. "Human Joran, this is unauthorized redistribution. Put it on my account." "You have no account. You spend all your credits on." Theta's sensory stalks waved in confusion. "On children who are not your species." "Why?" Joran met her cluster of eyes. "Because someone has to." Theta's translator clicked softly. Then, surprisingly, she helped him carry the crate. Word spread. The Doutry chef began accidentally preparing extra desserts. The Praxian mechanic donated spare parts that Joran fashioned into simple toys. Even the station commander, a stern Quellan who'd never spoken to him before, authorized access to an unused observation deck. On the night Joran chose a date that meant nothing to anyone but him, he worked while the cubs slept. He filled the observation deck with every gift he'd gathered, each one labeled with a name. He strung lights made from maintenance strips. He created a feast from donated supplies. And in the center, he placed a chair and waited. Kiko found it first, waking early as she often did. Her shriek of joy woke the others, and suddenly 73 cubs poured into the space, their voices a chorus of wonder. They found their names, claimed their gifts, and turned the observation deck into chaos incarnate. Then Kiko saw Joran sitting in his chair, still wearing his gray jumpsuit, but with a maintenance crew hat perched at a jaunty angle. She approached slowly, her large eyes glistening. "You," she breathed. "You are the night visitor. I'm just a janitor," Joran said softly. "No." Kiko's voice was firm. She turned to the other cubs who had gone quiet. "He is the gift bringer. He is ... He is ours." The cubs descended on him then, not with violence but with affection, a tsunami of small bodies in soft fur, purring and chirping in 7 different languages all at once. They climbed on him, hugged him, thanked him, and Joran, who had spent 3 years being invisible, found himself entirely, completely seen. Later, when the chaos had settled into contentment and the cubs dozed among their treasures, the station commander approached. "You've created a tradition, human. They'll expect this now." "I know," Joran said, watching Kiko sleep clutching a stuffed toy he'd sewn himself. "It's not in your job description, neither is being human, sir. But I'm going to keep doing it anyway." The commander's facial plates shifted in what might have been approval. "Carry on, Janitor Joran, or should I say close?" As the commander left, Joran looked out at the dying star beyond the viewport. It still blazed, spending its last light on the darkness. He understood that now how something could give everything it had left, just to keep others warm. Kiko stirred, murmured his name, and settled back into sleep. Joran smiled and began to plan for next year.